What's up, gang? So, hey, check this out. I just recorded a whole trade review video on this AMD trade, thinking I had my AirPods connected to my computer, and I didn't. So, I did have a congratulatory little J after my trades today. So, I'll blame that. So, it's a whole trade video without having my headphones in or connected. So, here we go. Let's talk about this AMD trade. Over 100%, not using 0-day contracts, by the way. I like to point that out. I don't like to do 0 days unless I'm using super small money, and particularly I like to just do like at least 2-day contracts. It gives me more room to breathe. Anyways, here we go. I mentioned this morning in the counter trades Discord and the Cash Pineapple section, also on my Instagram, basically saying AMD is hitting the same area of resistance that it's hit since September of last year. Over 85.63, I like calls to the $90 area. And I had this zone pointed out here. What was it? 84.60 to 85.63. 85.63 is the number I'm talking about. Where did I get this number from? Let's go ahead and pull that out. I'm glad you asked, right? Let's do the daily. This is where I found it. So we're looking at here. Quickly zoom out. Bam. This is the last time we broke down from here, this area. And I found that you can do daily zones, but I zoomed in and actually found an hourly zone here, an hourly supply zone, and just dragged that all the way across over to today. So that's where I found that. So that's why going in today, I was looking for this area because in pre-market, everything was surging. Everything was running up hot because markets were looking really bullish. So I was looking for a name that was kind of lagging in pre-market. AMD was one of them. It was also near the supply area. So I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to focus on because everything else is kind of just running ahead of my zones. I don't want to trade, blind. So AMD was working out. And I found this, again, back in September. So I was thinking if we break above this could be very bullish intraday and even going into tomorrow, especially with how yesterday ended. So let's go back to the 5-minute today on AMD. So here we go. Opening candle, we dipped below. This pink line's the opening print. I like to mark that opening print. Great trick from Jake Ricci, aka Rake Trades, marking the opening print when you're getting above or below it, using that as a guide. That's been great for me this week. So we did dip below the opening print of 84.29, then came above it, and then came past this zone. So I bought calls. My first entry here in this candle, this green one here, once we had confirmed out of the zone. And then I made heavier entries here as we came back in. And again, knowing my stop loss or my out of the trade is this 84.60. And that's not that big of a hit. I could even go down to the opening print. Really, the opening print's my ultimate out here, right? And using 2-day contracts, it's not that difficult to see where you can get your out here, right? And using 2-day contracts, you're not going to really burn yourself, right, by a quick move or something here. So it can go against you for a second. You're still like, okay, I have this ultimate line in the sand here. Luckily, it didn't have to go that way for me because it immediately kind of went in my favor, right? I had my first trim here at about 70% and then held runners until about, I think here I got rid of the last one. Actually, maybe even here past lunchtime. I think it was, I was like 100. It was just past lunchtime. It was about 104% on my runner. First trim at 70%, final trim at 100 and something percent. And then looking today, it's going to look bullish back in tomorrow, but seeing how the zone worked out perfectly, being patient, again, could have bought here and that would have been great, obviously. But, looking ahead, this is easy to say in hindsight. But here, being patient and playing it, it's easy to see how it works out, right? Buy one here. If the trade goes against you, you're out quickly, and you kind of can average down here, and then you have your ultimate out, right? 84.60 is a soft landing or a softer out, and then your hard out at 84.29, depending on how much you're willing to risk. But that on a 2-day contract, that's like that's a 30% downside, especially if you're averaging right here, and then your upside's hundreds of percent, well, over 100% for today. And if you're doing 0-day contracts, of course, you could have hit this heavier, especially if you got it right here to here and came out. That would have probably been over 100% move, maybe a couple 100%. But again, seeing how this works out, finding that zone on a larger time frame and making it work for you on the daily. And the benefit of writing out your pre-market plan, I do that for people to look at in the Discord, also in the Cash Pineapples Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, of course. But I do that shit for me, man. I do that shit so I can see it and remind myself, hey, what am I looking for? What did I think was worth telling people to look for? That's what I'm going to look for and focus on. So it helps me. I did that today. Then if nothing else, and I'm not going to get in trouble with the SEC because I'll be like, hey, look, I followed all my plays. I said it and did it, so they can't say I didn't do it. So there you go. I take my plays. If I don't, I guess I would say I didn't. So hopefully I see you guys for more of these trade reviews, because I'm only going to do them when they're over 100%, because who gives a shit otherwise? And I do focus on percentage gain because, again, I focus on trades that are friendly for small accounts, friendly for all accounts, but really for small accounts. This is a small account friendly trade. Because a lot of traders I watch reviews and they'll be like $30,000 day or $15,000 in 20 minutes. And then I watch the review and they just made a quick like 30% on a 0-day move. And when you really break it down, sometimes I'm like, dude, you're chasing. This isn't really like fundamental. Like, you're not really using as much technical analysis as you might think. And there are some great traders. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying I'm fucking better than them. But I've just noticed that where it's like they kind of lure. And I would do it too if I was swinging that kind of cash on trades. But they're luring you in. But when they break it down, it's like, that was only 20% trade, 20%. And no knock. It's a great trade. But I want to focus on catching the larger moves. I think being patient, catching the larger moves is much more impressive and much less stressful, right? I learned that from the OG, Jake Ricci. So shout out Rake Trades. Great philosophy. Catch the, and he even talked about it today on his moves. I think he made 40-some K today. Being patient. He's like, when he catches his wins, they're big. Catch the big move, So, and be okay with, if it's a chop, catch your hit and runs. But when you see an opportunity to catch the larger move, get it. So hopefully I see you guys soon. Because again, I'm only going to do trade reviews for these larger than 100% wins. So there you go. Trade safe tomorrow. Don't know if I will. FOMC has been good to me. So we'll see. I might not risk it tomorrow. I might just take the day off and come back Monday. Alrighty. See you guys.